so it is really beautiful out here. There is still some clouds in the sky, but apparently it's going to be burning off, but there's no wind and the surf is kind of calm, so there's a lot of nice blue-greens in the water. It looks like Sophie and Mark are here, still waiting on Tad and Joey. But I'm excited. This is going to be fun. It looks like you're setting up right over here.
So it's hard because the sun's coming, so I don't want sun on my canvas. So
right, you'd have to kind of turn it so that there's a shade on it. Yeah. Those colors over there are so beautiful. And then with the look how the sky right above the clouds, you've got that cerulean, and then it goes up to like an ultramarine. Nice shadows on that outcropping as well.
The sun is getting a little higher.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, the morning has a lot of nice shadows, for sure.
Yeah.
So everybody's just looking around trying to decide what they want to do. I think I'm going to paint a scene that I've done before because the light is different and the water is different right now. Lots of nice shadows. As you guys know, I've talked about before, I love when you get these really strong ultramarine shadows in the white water. I think that's just beautiful. Tad, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Amazing light this morning, huh?
Yeah, beautiful.
All right, Mark, so have you decided what you're going to paint yet?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this scene here with like the cliffs with the light on it, and then the background.
So I have like a foreground right here with these cliffs.
Okay.
So real saturated with color for that.
Okay.
And then a little, kind of a mid-ground with those rocks behind there.
Okay.
And, you know, and a little grayed out, and then way back there. See how far I can push them back.
Yeah, okay.
That's always my problem. I never push things back far enough.
Oh, like the atmospheric perspective thing?
Yeah, that idea of exaggerating what I see.
Yes, exactly. All right, cool. Sophie, so have you decided on what you're going to paint?
I think I'm going to do this over there.
So you're painting this scene right here. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I got to make sure this is not like right in the middle, you know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like make sure that this landmass is not right in the middle of your panel. Yeah. I know a lot of times what I'll do is, I'll put a landmass up kind of towards the top, you know, the third, use rule of thirds.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I do. You made your panels like after, watching a video?
Yes.
Right, and I feel, it feels like you have pumice in it as well.
Yes, a little bit, because I used one without it, it was too slick.
Yes, exactly. The acrylic gesso without pumice in it, the paint, it doesn't take the paint very well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are trying to do that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
We'll see, and it's bigger than I usually.
Well, it looks like 12 by 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, it's scary.
You're gonna be all right. All right, so you got a good vantage point up here.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
What a beautiful view.
Pretty stuff, yeah.
All right, so you're gonna do this point as well. That's what I'm gonna paint.
Okay.
Normally it's all white water out here, but right now you've got some beautiful colors in the water.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of white water, but a lot of nice color.
Yeah.
All right, so Joey's here and he's got his gear. Oh, that kind of rhymes actually. Brought out the French easel, huh?
Yeah, old Maybeth, and this is actually your design.
Oh, so you made a box.
I tried.
Yeah,
I attempted at it.
It looks beautiful.
I do use it.
Yeah.
But I attach it to the drawer in here, and it just, with this, and it's so sturdy. I don't measure too well.
Oh, I see. Oh, to put the strata trays in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
they snap right on, and I just pick my colors here, and I mix on here and put it on, and when I'm all done, just clean up.
That's a clever idea. I dig that. Cool.
And sometimes it fits.
My go-to brushes lately have been this synthetic number 10 bright and a number 8 natural bristle flat. So those are going to be the main brushes I use. And I'm going to be using my usual colors here: cadmium yellow lemon, titanium white, cadmium yellow medium, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, dioxazine purple, ultramarine blue, and phthalo blue. Did I mention I'm using liquid today? As usual. Painting on a 12 by 16 inch panel. Okay, so here's the compositional idea. I've got the rocky, this whole section here is kind of the rocky point going out. And then I'm gonna, you know, a lot of times I'll like to put some kind of waves going on out here to create interest in this space. I do like the fact that today the light top of the rocks will stand out against the dark blue of the water. Typically it's all white water out here, and so there's not a lot of definition between the top of the rocks and the water, but today there's an opportunity to you know, have some dark blue or some of that blue green over here It'll make the light portion of the rock stand out. But I'm mainly interested in this kind of interesting shadow pattern here and the shadow that it's casting on the white water. Love that so far.
It always starts out great.
Yeah, but and then you got to hang on to it. But yeah, that's lovely. I love the shadow patterns are great. It looks like you toned with burnt sienna.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and the composition. I think that idea of having the landmass up on the third. I mean, I think that's really a really cool idea. Your sketch is beautiful.
Oh,
yeah, I like your line work there. Very nice.
Oh, thank you.
And I also think that this.
Yes.
Yeah, like I like that how you have the shoreline curving. Shadow pattern's cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Like
looking
I
good.
say, it starts out great. We'll see.
I know, it's like trying to hang on to the magic, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, well, you're off to a great start.
Oh, thank you.
How you doing, buddy? You got your sketch mapped out?
I do. I had to simplify it. There's a lot going on out there that I didn't want to get caught up in a bunch of details. So
Right. Now, do you want my 2 cents?
Please.
Your horizon, or this thing, is like a line that almost divides your canvas. So probably if it was me, again, it's not me, so it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
I would probably, like, that's the tricky thing, like maybe either push it
higher.
Push it higher or lower. Like if you you could push it lower if you wanted to feature clouds, or push it higher if you wanted to have
I'd like
something.
to get more water, I think,
If you,
in there.
yeah, if you want more water, then I would. Yeah, I'd push it up just a little bit. I mean, a little bit will put you up on the third, which is a lot better than close to like just dividing it in half. So that's just my 2 cents on
That's
it.
a good point.
Yeah. So
I was kind of feeling that, but I didn't. I get caught up in what's reality, and I gotta.
Oh, so true. I know. Like right now, what I do is when I'm composing, I'm looking at reality for ideas, but I am concentrating on composition the whole time.
Yeah.
Had to restart one drawing already.
All right.
I didn't tone it. I was restarting.
Yeah. I see. You wiped it out. I do that
Yeah, I
all the
wiped it
time.
out because I got my shadows wrong.
Yeah.
Now I got the placement right. What I should have done was my horizon line first. but-
Oh yeah. All right. So then you are doing kind of the same view that Tad and I are doing, except further over to the right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I'm
Lots of
getting
nice shadows there.
Downward angle of shadows here. I'm gonna exaggerate these flowers a little bit.
All right. So you're going to include the foreground as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
definitely.
Nice. All right. Looking good, man. I'll
Yeah,
come
gonna
back
be
and
fun.
check with you. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
see
For
you
sure.
later.
All right, so now I've blocked in my darks, and I kind of want to keep this point. Yeah, I had it further out towards the center. I want to keep it off to the left more. But I do like the shadow pattern here. There's some irregularity in there that I find appealing. When I put in the color of the surrounding water, it's going to make the white water along here pop out, and then also it'll hopefully make the light portion of the rocks really stand out, because this will be dark as well. Good. So you got some shadows blocked in already.
Yes.
Okay. And are you using like alizarin crimson and ultramarine, or?
Yes.
And then you're using. Looks like you're using liquid
Yes.
as well. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So you bumped up the horizon. I like that. Yeah. How do you feel about it? Do you like it better?
I like it much better.
Okay, cool.
Because I really wanted more room. I love the color of the water today, and I was frustrated. I couldn't articulate it, but I could tell I was frustrated that, I'm not going to get to paint as much water as I wanted to. So
Yeah.
that helped.
Alleviate that problem.
Alleviate that problem really quickly. So
Yeah.
to paint what I really want to paint.
Exactly.
Not just without things. So
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
feels
Cool.
good.
Well, I'll check back with you in a bit.
okay.
Okay. Here goes the dreaded hill climb again. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Wow. Look at those colors. Wow. Look at that.
Last time I was here, I went way too dark, so I'm just like
You're keeping it lighter.
trying to keep it a lot lighter and see what happens. So,
Yeah, yeah. You have a strong green
Uh-huh.
here. You could always come over with the reflected sky
Oh yeah, yeah.
on top of that, and then that's
Yep.
yeah, that could be really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of dimension in the water. I kind of don't know how to handle, but
Well, okay, so basically what you've got, if you look at the water, is you've got the color of the water, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you've got the reflection of the sky on the water. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So is it like a blend of the two, or is it more just like sky color on top of it?
It's like, I don't know if you can see, but where the waves are starting to peak up or whatever, or where they're rippling, you're going to see into the water, so you'll see that green color of the water.
I see. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then between the waves, do you see how there's that color where it's like a blue? That's reflecting the sky.
I see. Yeah.
And so it's very helpful to know that, because then you're like, because if you're looking, you're like, oh, what is that color on the top of the water? So like by laying in a green that's the color of the water, and then coming on top with like, say, an ultramarine or whatever color your sky is, then you can kind of create that multi-layered or that sense of depth.
I see.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people ask how I mix the color of the water. I'm going to start today with a little bit of white and ultramarine. I'm adding a touch of burnt sienna, and see how that makes it kind of a greenish gray. And I'm looking for, you know, kind of a mid value, and do need a little yellow, so I'm going to add some cadmium yellow medium to kind of warm it up. All right, and I've added some cadmium yellow lemon because the water in the foreground is definitely greener. All right, so there's the basic block in. One thing I'm noticing is I'd like to have more white water in here, so I can do that. I'll just like wipe it out with a paper towel. But I like the arrangement of shapes, and you know, I'm gonna need to adjust colors. Like I'm seeing more blue greens out here, so I'm gonna need to work with that. Also too, the values are darker, the water is, but that's okay because that's gonna make this white water really stand out. So I might artificially darken this water in order to get that sort of dramatic effect with the white water. There is the potential for just having the sky be uninteresting. On the other hand, like I like how it's like ultramarine up top and then it goes to a more cerulean. So I don't know. Putting a wave out here will create some interest and draw the eye out. But it could be nice just having a really beautiful clear horizon. Okay, so I'm seeing some really nice blue greens in the water. This is actually what phthalo blue mixed with cadmium yellow lemon looks like. I mean, it's an artificial looking blue green, but I'm gonna mix a variety of blue greens here, and I'm going saturated. Like I want to exaggerate those colors. I did add a little bit of blue, like touches of ultramarine in the shadow portion of the rocks, and then also some little warm areas. So again, I'm like looking for subtle value and temperature shifts within these shapes. I kind of made the tops of the cliffs a little too light, so I darkened those, exaggerated the blue greens in here. You know, one thing I did, I exaggerated the darkness of the water.
Of the water?
Yeah, I kind of made it like, because I know if you look at it right now, it's pretty light, right? But then if you compare the water to the white water,
Yes.
it's actually quite a bit darker.
Darker, yes.
So like I just came in and I put, you know, I laid in the whites like you did.
Yeah.
And then I adjusted, I used that as my lightest value, and then I made the water dark enough so that it made the water look, the white
Really-
water pop. Yeah.
Yeah, it really pops out.
I love all this. I love all this transparency and
Yeah.
you're hanging on to that. That's great.
I feel like I need to do something to it, but I thought, well, I'll leave it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a simple statement is really
Yeah.
the best, you know? So like,
And I love the yellow reflection in there.
I can see the yellows in the water right there. Yeah,
Yeah, right
that's
there.
always really challenging to put in. And again, like if you look at the value of the reflection next to the white water,
Yes.
the value is actually quite
Yeah,
a
it's
bit
dark.
darker. So you
Yeah.
could try darkening it a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
yeah, but it looks wonderful.
Okay.
All right. So now you have your panel in the sun.
I know.
Is that hard for you?
Well, I lose track all of a sudden. The sun
I know. I know the sun is moving. I did the same thing. I pushed the saturation in the water, and that's good because now you're getting that white, the white water pattern in there.
The one question I have is when I look at water, when it gets close, like this water up here is actually really light.
Yes.
You know, there's just like the sunshine right off that.
I know.
And so I want to add white, but I always think of white as pushing things back.
Well, the other thing you want to look at is, like I was just talking to Sophie about this, is that, yeah, it looks light, but look at it compared to the white water.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is your lightest light, so you've got to adjust the water so that it looks accurate. You know what I mean?
Contrast like that.
Yeah, so I know, you look at the water and you're like, oh, it's really light, but compared to that white water, it isn't.
No.
Right? And the nice thing about keeping your values more of a mid-range, especially with water, is you get more saturation. So you'll get more color in that mid-range value. Yeah. What I've been amazed at is how much you can exaggerate and have it still look real. You know what I mean?
More interesting.
It has more life and more vitality,
Yes.
you know?
Yes,
And
yes.
so that's why, because like when I first came out plein air painting, I would just carefully match the colors exactly.
I know.
And then I would get the painting home and it would be completely lifeless.
Yeah.
And I would wonder, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but I want it to be true. And then I found out, yeah, you have to lie to tell the truth, you know?
Exactly.
All right, Tad, it looks like you're living the dream out here. Is that true?
Yeah, I am. I'm feeling it, man.
You're feeling it. All right. Oh, wow. Beautiful colors in there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Any challenges you're facing, or
Yeah, the whole thing.
the whole thing?
I mean, I kind of ditched the waves just because I was getting overwhelmed with everything. So I just kind of like, well,
Oh, eliminated the white water, you mean?
I put in a little bit of white, but even just like swelling waves and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Stuff that I had thought I was going to kind of focus on, but
It is pretty gentle out there, though. Actually, there's not a lot of substantial waves.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, are you going to put in white water at all, or are you going to leave it the way it is?
You know, I try to put some in, but it is very slight, so I'm gonna emphasize that a little bit more.
Yeah, I was just talking to Sophie about like how I would take, I'd take like a bright and then just load it with white and just kind of mop it around in there so that it's a thick layer that kind of goes over the top.
Like how much pressure? Like
It's almost, you're just gliding it right
Okay.
across the top. Yeah. And a lot of paint's got to be on there, and the more like goopy and irregular it is for me, I like that look. Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, you can come down and take a look if you want, and I'll show you what I mean.
Sure.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll load this brush up with I'll load it up with white and liquid, and then I'll just kind of gently glide it over and I say like mopping it on there.
Yeah.
But you can see how thick it is in areas, and that way it stays really punchy, and it won't mix with the with the colors underneath.
Right.
So that's kind of, and like I said, the more irregular the better.
Right.
But look how the white water really creates definition, and it's these darks here and those lights. That's the major part of the
That, like,
composition.
right against the shadow, just Oh, that contrast is beautiful.
And also too, I just took pure ultramarine out of the tube and put it in here as well.
Okay.
And just exaggerate the heck out of these colors.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Okay.
Do you want my 2 cents or no?
Yeah, go for it.
What I usually try to do is like, I'll look at the whitewater as almost one big shape, one big abstract shape, as opposed to having little bits in here. I mean, if you look out here, it's really simple. Big dark shape, a little bit of light on top of the rocks, water, whitewater, sky, period. Yeah. The more complicated you make it, it weakens the composition.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like,
I feel I've been working on the darks too much right now, and I need to punch it back to the lights, like work on the lights now to help balance it out.
There's a woman named Marcia Burt who paints in Santa Barbara, and she says whenever her composition gets lost, she breaks out the big brush.
Yeah.
It just comes back in and gets back to those basic shapes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You say you're gonna work on the sky later?
Yeah, I got to get home here, so I'm gonna fill in the distant mountains in the sky.
I like how you got that pop with the whitewater. You know, the value shift between the two seems to be working.
And I'll go and add a few more, I think, subtle highlight of color on some of those waves.
You can look for subtle shifts of value and temperature in the big shapes that you have.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm gonna leave it here. I don't want to overwork it. For the whitewater, I use a mixture of titanium white with a touch of dioxazine purple, and then I came over it in little areas with titanium white with cadmium yellow lemon. So you have, even though they're both whites, they're tinted with complements. And I think that creates more luminosity. All right, so Sophie and I were talking about some compositional stuff, and I want to share with you.
Go back. Yes.
Okay, so you were saying that this shape here bothered you, right?
Yeah, this guy.
Right, and then I was saying that the fact that this shape has like this irregular edge is really nice, whereas like this straight line,
Yes,
yeah,
it needs to be broken up.
right. So if that's made more irregular, it's going to look more natural.
Yes.
Without, you know, I mean, the overall shape is interesting. It's just sometimes having those edges, you know, more jagged or irregular really
Sure.
adds a lot.
Sure.
But the feeling of light is beautiful. I like the motion in the beach here. You really captured that slope
Right.
using the brush strokes. And also the reflection in the water is looking really nice too. Yeah, so I like that. Okay, so yeah,
It's
you made,
better.
yeah, that's definitely better. That
And I
irregular
like
shapes
the-
in there.
And I like those guys back there.
Yeah, oh yeah, the mountains look good too. Yep, and you
Yeah.
even got a little bit of, you even got some warms and cools in the mountains in the distance.
Yeah.
And the,
it's-
oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it just came out that way.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Well-
Oh, let's see.
It's okay.
Part of the-
a
oh.
little grit.
No, it fared well. It fared well. All right, I'll let you pack it up before it gets blown
Yes.
over. All right, it's burrito time. All right, so here it is in one of my floater frames. And I like these sort of reddish, you know, transparent darks in here. So when I mixed my ultramarine and alizarin crimson mixture, I definitely leaned it more towards red, knowing there'd be greens in the water. So there's a nice complement going on between the two, or the two are complements. I definitely pushed the saturation in the water. As I mentioned, I put almost straight ultramarine in these shadows here in the white water, and mixed up that really saturated blue-green. Let's put pops of that in the water as well. And I think having those saturated colors really contributes to a feeling of light. I think putting this wave out in the distance kind of helps to lead the eye out in that direction. There are certain areas in here where I tried to get you know, reflected sky in the water. I actually really like this composition, and maybe I'll go back and do a bigger one. It was really fun to see how everybody interpreted the scene in their own way. I will link Tad and Mark and Joey's Instagram down below. Sophie doesn't have an Instagram, but we kind of saw her painting towards the end. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for hanging out. I've got extra videos on my Patreon channel. If you want to check those out, it helps support the channel. Put a link for that down below as well. Other than that, stay creative. See you guys in the next video.